One dark night in the middle of the day, two...
Wait, what happened to your beard?
Cheese Puffs!
Hello everyone, welcome to Cheese Puffs, and also to year number 2 of telling spooky stories in the dark. So I went first last year, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you go first this year.
Okay. There are times, maybe more often than we would like to think, when we do not know what lies in the dark, right in front of us, until we turn on the light. This was the case with one man, a man who actually did not live very far from where you live now. Most people knew him as Mr. Williams. He was well-read, quite polite, but more shy than he let on. Everyone liked him well enough. When Mr. Williams walked his dog down the road every evening, he whistled loudly, whatever tune happened to be on his mind. He was an excellent whistler, and his neighbors all knew when he had gone inside for the night because they no longer heard his whistling. Life carried on about the same every day, peaceful, consistent, until it didn't. You see, one of Mr. Williams' neighbors was a mysterious old lady, the type who told stories you might think are just made-up tales to tell by the fire. And most of them might have been. But one of them wasn't. As her story went, Mr. Williams' house had sat empty for 60 years, not because it wasn't a nice place, nor for any other such reason, but because it was home to something else. But Mr. Williams was not afraid, you see, for he had ignored those sounds in the night. Until he couldn't. A night finally came when Mr. Williams woke up suddenly, thinking he had heard something breathing right in front of him. After waking up and listening closely, he heard nothing but the quiet of the night. So he went back to sleep. The next night he was awakened once again, this time certain he had heard something breathing, whatever it was. He lay quiet again for a long time, listening. He heard only the quiet of the night. So he went back to sleep. The next day, Mr. Williams talked to his neighbors about this. They believed the stories and they warned him. He spoke to the older lady, and she warned him. But still, that evening, Mr. Williams walked his dog down the road, whistling loudly. He paused to catch his breath and noticed how especially quiet it was that evening. No one in sight. But he whistled his way back home through his front door, and his neighbors no longer heard him whistling. That night, he was awakened once more. But this time, as he listened, he did not hear the quiet of the night. All he could hear was something breathing right in front of him. Mr. Williams lay frozen. You see, there are times when we do not know what lies in the dark, right in front of us, until we turn on the light. Mr. Williams reached for his bedside lamp, and with his eyes closed he turned it on. And when he opened his eyes, he saw...
Woo! He saw blue.
Yes, that is the end of the story. It was a jump scare for you,
Good job.
Did I get you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry and think it's hilarious at the same time. But hey, spooky stories in the dark, you know?
Yeah.
All right. How about your turn there, boy?
Okay. You know, we all have these little inconveniences in our everyday lives that just take up so much of our time. Like having to flip a switch to make the lights turn on, having to throw some clothes in a machine and push a button that automatically washes the clothes, having to order pizza with the option of it being delivered straight to your door, and then you have to pay the guy. Am I right? I mean, it's just so inconvenient! But do you want to know what the most inconvenient thing of all is? Having to make a sandwich. I mean, you gotta take out the bread, untwist the little wiry plastic thing off the bread, take the bread out of the bag, twist the thing back onto the bread bag, get out a plate, get out a knife, get out some turkey and cheese and mayonnaise and mustard, somehow perfectly place all of these things onto the piece of bread, and carefully putting that last piece of bread on top. But then, you have to put the bread, the mustard, the cheese, the mayonnaise, all back where it came from, rinse off the knife, and then after 30 minutes of doing that, you can finally eat your sandwich. It is terrible. If only there was a way for it to be less terrible. This is the wish of so many people, but that wish would only ever come true for one man. And that man was named Timmy. A young, friendly, unsuspecting man in his early 30s who, one day, while going on his weekly trip to Walmart to buy his sandwich supplies, would come across a mysterious and wonderful thing. Or so he thought. On this day, after Timmy got his sandwich supplies, he decided to take a look at the electronics section of Walmart, just to see what was new. But suddenly, he found himself trapped! In the clearance section aisle of the as seen on TV products, there was an UV glove here and one of those non-stick frying pans there, the usual wares. But then something caught his eye, sitting in the farthest, darkest, most neglected, and unmopped corner of Walmart, covered with cobwebs and dust that may have been sitting there for the past decade, was a single box. Timmy thought it strange, but he was curious. Why was there only one? It must be a popular product, he thought. Timmy slowly approached the box, wiped off the dust, and read the product's label. The Happy Sandwich Maker, 5000. Automatically makes sandwiches in less than 15 seconds. Without even thinking, Timmy grabbed the box, sprinted to the nearest self-checkout, and went home as the new happy owner of the Happy Sandwich Maker 5000. My friend, if only he had seen the sign that was placed above the sandwich maker box, with bold letters printed in 55-point font that said, "Do not buy this. Cannot return." Anyway, Timmy took the machine out of the box, plugged it into the nearest socket, and stood proudly as he examined his new appliance. He hadn't even taken the time to notice the design of the machine, which was kind of strange. It was quite literally a happy sandwich maker, as you can see by this illustration.
Yes. Happy.
It had a wide, clown-like grin with huge, dark eyes that could haunt your every nightmare. But who cares? It makes sandwiches. Timmy read the instructions. All you have to do is fill one canister with a loaf of bread, one with your favorite condiments, and the other with your favorite sliced meat, which it keeps refrigerated for you at all times. As long as the machine is stocked with these ingredients, a sandwich can be made just like that, and will pop out through the mouth of the machine. Timmy followed these directions to a T, and then pressed the sandwich-making button in excitement. Suddenly, the machine started singing a happy song. I'm the happy sandwich maker, and I'll make a sandwich for you. Just wait right there and be patient. If you don't, you'll meet your... The machine stopped. It had been 15 seconds, but no sandwich. Timmy grew impatient, realizing that his brand new machine may already be broken. He read the instructions again, but found nothing. He whacked the machine on top of the head a couple of times. Nothing. Furious, he ripped the machine's cord out of the wall and took it straight back to the store. He went to the customer service counter and returned it. While the cashier processed his refund, for a second he thought about asking a few questions about the machine. It was pretty strange. Only one box sitting in a dusty corner. Why had he never heard of this machine before? Why didn't everyone have one? Maybe because it was defective, he thought. I'll just Google it when I get home, Timmy thought. Timmy drove home, feeling a little down on the way that his sandwich dreams may never come true. Timmy unlocked his door, opened it, and turned the lights on.
You should have read the sign! Cannot return!
To Timmy's absolute horror, he saw the happy sandwich maker sitting on the kitchen counter before him, laughing maniacally, until the machine started to sing again.
I'm the happy sandwich maker, and I'll make a sandwich for you. Just wait right there, and be patient. If you don't, you'll meet your doom.
In a panic, Timmy yanked the machine's cord out of the wall, but it still kept on laughing.
You don't want a sandwich? Well, too bad. Here you go.
Suddenly, the mouth of the machine maker opened up, and 15 witches flew out of it, flying around on broomsticks and cackling above Timmy's head. And then, an endless stream of sand came out of the machine's mouth, quickly filling up the room, so much so that Timmy was having to swim through it, and was soon sinking underneath the sand, reaching out and gasping for breath as the 15 witches continued flying above him, laughing and mocking his suffering. The machine laughed once more.
Have you learned your lesson on patience yet?
Timmy gasped for air and shouted, Yes, please, stop, I'm begging you, have mercy.
Okay, here, let me clean that up for you.
Immediately, the 15 witches happily cleaned up all the sand with their broomsticks and went back where they came from. The machine said,
So, do you want a sandwich?
Sure, said Timmy. The machine made a sandwich, Timmy ate it, it was delicious, and they all lived happily ever after. The end. Quite a story, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about my own story, honestly.
Well, I'll say this. I got tears flew into my eyes at one point due to the, I guess, terror, I don't know, I guess my imagination was so imagining of the scariness of if I walked in and the creepy voice started talking to me like that. You should have read this out. I was like, what?
Well, glad I could have scared you as well. Happy Halloween or something.
Happy spooky time!
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for something scary to happen like it did last year, but what can happen, I guess?
Maybe some kind of creepy foreshadowing video will start playing.
Okay. What was that all about?
Thank you for watching Cheese Puffs.
That's it?
The end. We hope you enjoyed these spooky stories. Leave a like on this video and subscribe to Cheese Tree 43 for more. Would you like some Cheese Tree 43 merchandise? Check out the merch store. Be safe out there and have fun. Bye-bye.